So for those of you who don't know, my degree was in civil and structural engineering, but now I am on a graduate scheme in the IT space. And that's not just me. There's many other friends and family that have done a similar thing. So I've got a cousin who did a law degree and he is now working as an IT consultant. I've got another cousin who did economics. He's now working in IT. I've got another friend of mine who I think did electrical engineering, but he's ended up in HR because he got onto a HR graduate scheme and that's what he wanted to do. So the moral of the story is that you don't need to go into the field that you did your degree in. I'm assuming if you've done anything like law, or you're becoming a doctor, or you're doing accountancy or something, those kind of degrees, you would like to go down that route because they're quite tough degrees. Usually people in those degrees want to go down that route. But if you've done any other degree, for example, psychology, a lot of people struggle when they come out of uni after they've done psychology because the jobs are just, let's be honest, they're not very well paid, unfortunately. You could go in the NHS, there's certain jobs in there, but other than that, it can become difficult, right? And a lot of those people end up in different industries because they use their degree and they get into graduate schemes. Now, here is what I want to say in this video. If you're struggling to, find your direction, or you've done a bit of a crappy degree, you've done arts or history or something like that, right? And you want to start making money, you want to get into a job, right? You want to have a good future. Well, there's nothing stopping you from taking that degree into a different industry. There really isn't. Now, the only thing you want to keep in mind is that the graduate scheme that you're applying to allows degrees from outside of that field. You should be absolutely good to go. Okay? Yes, you're not going to be as relevant as other people, but that being said, the biggest thing that's going to set you apart, the biggest thing, I feel like it's the only thing that's going to set you apart from somebody who's very relevant, who's got the same degree that they are looking for, but really does not do well in the graduate hiring process, and you is the graduate hiring process. How well you do at the GHP, the graduate hiring process. If you don't know what the graduate hiring process is, it's basically all the steps that you take to get onto a graduate scheme, right? So that's the online forms, the online tests, the interview, the online interview, the in-person interview, the assessment center, the technical interview. This all forms part of the graduate hiring process. It's basically what I talk about on this channel, what I help people with in my premium Graduate X course, which is linked in the description below. The difference between someone getting the graduate scheme and not is literally just the GHP. It doesn't actually matter what degree you have or what experience you have, because if you've got the best degree in the world, you've got a PhD, let's say you've got a PhD in that field, you've got tons of experience, but you fail on the first online assessment, you fail at the online test, you're kicked out of the system. They're not going to see you You can have the most fanciest degree in the world. Like I said, they're not going to see you because you haven't been able to pass that first stage of the graduate hiring process. Okay? So that is why it's really important to keep your mind open, keep your eyes open, have a broad mindset, right? If you've done a degree which you're not really that interested in, you don't really want to go down the route of, or there's another industry that you can make more money in, use your degree and go into that industry. There's nothing stopping you, right? I am an example. My cousins are an example. There's friends and family that have done it again and again and again. And this is basically a video for those people who think they need to go down that route. I was one of those people, right? I tried so hard just to go down civil engineering. I found out, look, there's not a lot of money in this field. I don't want to do this field. I don't really find it that interesting. I want to go into another field which makes more money, which is a lot more interesting, which gives me a lot more maneuverability in terms of roles, has more exit opportunities, has more opportunities in general. And that in my opinion, it was IT. I went down that route and I got onto a graduate scheme in that. Yeah. And if I can do it, you can do it. Right? I've been struggling for 4 years to get onto a graduate scheme. I've been able to do it. You will absolutely fly through it. Just make sure, like I said, two things. You have somewhat of an interest in that field, because you will have to talk about that in your interviews. And number two, make sure you know how to beat the graduate hiring process. If you beat the graduate hiring process, you are in, my friend. And if you need any help on that, then you can check out the link in the description below. This is what my channel is about. I help people beat the graduate hiring process. I help people do that because, look, these are very hard graduate schemes to get onto. It's very, very competitive. It keeps getting more and more competitive every single year. Yeah, and the only way to get onto a graduate scheme is to beat the graduate hiring process. In the link in the description below, it takes you to my video course, which is a full 3-hour long video course. I've got lots of lectures in there. I take you step by step through each stage of the graduate hiring process. I show you how to pass it. I give you examples. I go through my experience of trial and error, what I learned, what worked for me. I also give you a ton of bonuses in there as well. I check your CV for you as well. I do it up for you. Like I basically give you all the recommendations. You do it yourself, obviously. You take it on board or you don't take it on board, that's up to you. I give you my question and answers document for the interview. I give you my application tracker. Lots of good stuff in that course, so go check it out. And that's all I wanted to say in this video. Make sure that you keep your eyes open. There's no harm in applying to something else which is outside of your degree. If that's what you want to get into, just make sure that you meet the entry requirements, you are somewhat interested in it, and you beat the graduate hiring process. Most important thing. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the course. Take care. Bye bye.